Welcome, CrossYoga friend. My name is Ria, and I'll guide you through what I call a yoga therapy class for shoulders and back. If you have any blocks, please grab those. And this is a just yoga class, so you can always put in your own intention and your own focus. As always, find somehow to sit with a tall spine and then close your eyes. Make you take a deep inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Letting go of whatever fills your mind up right now. Letting go what does not serve you, what worries you or weighs you down. And sometimes pain in shoulders and the top of the back is due to worries or anxieties of different topics. So today we want to try to release some of that, physically and mentally. And if you're up for a prayer or setting an intention for the class, you're welcome to do that. We'll begin with some slow movements for the neck. So you can open your eyes and then turn your head to your right side. Make sure there's space between your shoulders and your cheek. Almost like an owl looking back, but still not going too far. Then turning your head, making sure your spine is straight and looking the other way around. Coming back and maybe noticing just how it feels right now. And then we'll come back and notice how it feels a little bit later during the class. Moving to the other side as well. All right. Looking ahead. Doing shoulder rolls. So take your shoulders up, back and down. And I'll invite you to close your eyes and start noticing your right shoulder. How does it feel as you move here? Just your right shoulder. If you can't focus on your right shoulder moving both shoulders, then try just to move your right. Are there any speed bumps or things that feel fast or annoyed, tired? Still just your right side. And go slow so you have time to notice. And then focus on your left shoulder. Move the shoulder up, back and down, big circles, slowly. Does it feel different? And right side. More bumps, or maybe it feels like it more flows better or worse. Beautiful. Now move your wrists a little bit. We're going to go into tabletop in a moment. So when you're ready, find your tabletop. Maybe you tuck your mat underneath your knees a few times, or blanket or whatever helps you. Stack knee and hip, and then we do our cat-cow. And now probably you've done this quite a few times if you're used to doing yoga, so it might be a little bit old. But try to do it anyway. Try to do it slower, deeper, or higher. Maybe moving your hip a little bit behind your knees as you move your spine up. And of course you can move with your breath. I almost can't move without using my breath here. And then try to engage your shoulders. So when you go for your cat, kind of sink your shoulders or your chest down, and then you stretch your arms without hyperextending as you move up, going back, lowering down, almost like you're gliding forward and back. Maybe a sense like I'm tricking you into a little bit of a push-up here. It's not really a push-up, but there is some resemblance there. All right. And then now down dog, tuck the toes under. I like a little bit wider stance than coming up from tabletop. I know some cue that you do down dog here. To me, that's a little bit narrow. I like more distance here. And then walk your feet. Moving your hip. Now, especially if you have any conditions with your shoulders, keep in mind that your shoulder blades here, or the top of the shoulders, keep moving, maybe looking at the screen. You're not carrying your body weight in down dog on this meaty part, top of the shoulder here. You're actually carrying it more down here when you tuck your shoulder blades back together to stabilize the scapula here behind you. So try to think about that so you don't get sore shoulders from down dog. That doesn't make yoga a helpful thing. All right, then walk your feet to the top end of the mat, hip width distance in between your feet, and fold forward. Tuck the tummy in towards the navel or towards the spine, and then coming into mountain pose. Drawing your hands out to the side. And out again, almost like a cross shaped. You will stay on your mat. I'll just turn a little bit. Navel in, then draw some circles with your arms, big circles. And again, you can maybe, if you have a mirror at some point, look if left and right hand are moving alike. They don't have to. It's not like you have to be completely aligned left and right side. But if it's like, like this, I can't even do it. There might be something you need to look at, okay? If it's too much of a difference. And we always have a dominant side, of course. If you're right-handed, it will be right side. A few more circles. And then take your hands above your head. Palms together and lean to your left side, coming back up to your right side, just a few moves from left to right side. All right, and take your hands down. Rotate your shoulder blades back, stay in mountain pose, and regain your focus on your intention or your breath or whatever makes sense. Open up your eyes again and sit down in your chair pose. Take your arms here up. And again, notice shoulder blades back. And then you kind of push your hands down as you stand up tall, back, hands or arms back, sit down. It's going to be a little bit dynamic. So you inhale as you sit down. Exhale, move your hands back. Arms back, inhale. Getting warm. And we want that blood flow moving into our shoulders to kind of crunch, can we say that? Those muscle knots or those systems in your spine, in your shoulders that might be hard or stiff or something like that. Blood flow takes out all the garbage and put them into the lymphatic system, and then they're cleansed out. And then we can stretch and lubricate after. Let's do 2 and 3 and fold forward. Now this might be a time to use your blocks. You don't have to, but it might be good. Take your right leg and push it back, almost like you're doing a warrior 3. Straighten out your spine, figuring out tall or lower side. Actually, if I'm gonna have my spine aligned with the floor, I'm gonna use the higher edge here, staying strong. And then maybe you let go of the blocks, maybe. And then do your cactus arms a few times, if you can keep your balance here. If not, just take one hand and just move one arm, okay? We'll do the other side when we get to it. Last time, hands on the block and then step back. High lunge, so look to the front. You might stretch the front leg there before you sink down your high lunge. Now take your hands behind you, either hold the arm or do your prayer pose if your shoulders are up for that one. Palms together, pinky finger to the spine. And then lean a little bit forward. Shoulder blades down from the ears and turned back. Staying strong. And letting go. Step it back into down dog. And maybe you can do Vinyasa. Inhale to your plank on toes or knees, lower down on your chest. Lifting your chest, shoulder blades back, up dog or cobra, whatever you choose. And then down dog. One more time. Inhale to plank. Notice how your elbows squeeze into your ribs. Cobra, up dog. And then your down dog. Walk or jump to the front and fold forward. Preparing your blocks again. Just have them ready. Rise up towards the sky, palms together, and then we go for a little bit of a side bend again. So left and right side. Navel in. Now it's not that often that we do things from this side to side. We more move in the direction of front and back. This is why it's so helpful to get the body moving in different directions. All right, one more to each side. I'm very focusing on my core here to help me with that one. And then you can reach your arms up and fold forward, grabbing your blocks if you have them. Left leg, kick it back. Maybe take a look at the leg, align it with the floor. Toes pointing down. Navel in, staying strong. Staying here. Or do the other side, or both hands. Cactus arms. So you bend your elbows 90 degrees, stretch them to the front, and it's okay if you can't keep the balance. Gaze on the floor. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Lower down the left leg. High lunge. Again, option of stretching the front leg before you lower down. Closing the hip, align it with the short end off the mat. Take a deep inhale. And side out. Now, before we head our arms behind us, now we can do a little bit of a different move. Take your hands here down by your side. Now, often we're really good at this movement, hinting our shoulders forward. We're not as good as doing it the other way. So that's why I actually always want to draw our shoulders back. So again, rotate, take your thumbs out and back. Squeezing your shoulder blades quite firmly together without arching the back or doing a back bend, okay? Try to keep your spine tall. And this is easier if you lean a little bit forward. Just see if you can get a straight line from the back of the foot to the back of the head. One more big breath. And then step your hands down, step back, down dog. Lowering down your heels. Maybe waving your hip a little bit from side to side. And a Vinyasa flow. Plank. Navel in, exhale, lower down. Taking your time. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Now, doing those vinyasas actually creates strength in our arms, triceps. And that's also a great thing because arms are connected to the shoulders. So we want strength in all of the body. Now again, jump or walk to the top end of the mat. Fold forward. Grabbing one block and moving into mountain pose. Take a hold of the block like I do here, standing at the top end of your mat. So a prayer pose with a block in between. Squeeze the block like you could almost squeeze it shorter than it is or thinner than it is. And they're squeezing it, lifting it a little bit up and down. Maybe you come further down than you normally do to get a little bit of mobility into your wrists. Squeezing and lifting up. Now, if you start to shake a little bit, maybe you see that I am a little bit. It's just a sign that you are squeezing quite firmly here. So keep going. Okay, one last time. Come on. Squeeze also with your fingertips. There's so many beautiful things you can do with a block and with your arms. All right, shake it out. Then you gather your toes and your knees as much as you can and sit down in your chair pose. Maybe you still feel it in your arms. And let's do a prayer pose just with the palms here together with a twist to take your right elbow on your left side of the thigh, if possible. If not, just maybe hover over here, that's fine as well. But trying to turn the shoulders in another direction than your hip. And remember, as I'm showing this, don't look up and look at me. Stay in your twist and just adjust as I speak. One more breath. Then rise up. Take your hands behind you. Grasp your hands. Bend the elbows. Lean in back. Move your hip forward. Open up your chest. Big inhale. And exhale. Engage your core to stretch your spine again. Chair pose once again. Prayer pose and twisting. This time left elbow, right side. Now notice again your shoulders. A lot of people have them up here, so take them down. Keep squeezing the inner thighs. Moving the thumb towards your sternum. let go this time, fold forward. Stretch your legs. Step your feet back and let's do a plank. If it's too hard on your hands, you can come down on the elbows. Just fold the mat for the sake of the elbows. Or you can do your knees here. Try to see if you can move your shoulder blades further away from each other, the shoulder girdle. Try to see if you can lift more through your arms, through your fingers. So we're doing this. The next one is going to be a stretch. So, so look forward to that maybe. And then come down on your knees. Puppy pose. So this is where you're going to use your blocks. One way or the other. Actually, I like having mine here. This is the highest position. I know that I can do that. So you're on your knees and you take your hands on the blocks and then let your head sink in between your shoulders. So you kind of hang down here. Your hip just kind of puffed back, stretching into your armpit, into those muscles actually in your core and your chest. That's also stabilizing the arms and the lift of the shoulder. All right, child's pose. Maybe you want some more distance in between your knees. Take your hands down by your side, forehead on the mat. Notice any tension you have in your shoulders right now. And let that go. We're going to move down on our bellies. Move the blocks away. A little bit of back stabilization and strength. Hands underneath your shoulders. Make sure your elbows are squeezed in. So when we lift up right now, we don't want to use our hands as such. Actually, they're just tucked in a little bit. And then you lift up like this, okay? Hands hovering over the floor. And then you take your arms out. Actually, I'm going to move those. Take your arms out a little bit. Maybe you lift higher. Take them in underneath the armpit and lower down. And that's it. And we're going to do that a few more times. Lifting up. Drawing your arms out. Pulling them in and lower down. Keep breathing as you lift and lower down. You might do it with your breath, maybe not. Not too fast though. I'd rather have you lift high. And maybe you feel like when you take your arms out, oh, there's more space to lift up. And controlled movements down. Three more times. Come on, lift high. Last time. Awesome. Relax forehead on the hands that you stack. And actually it can be nice to windshield your legs, so you can take the shin off the mats and wave your legs from side to side. You get a little of a twist in your lower back. As always, go slow. Coming up next is a stretch into the armpit and the shoulder. So you can take your right hand out here, 90-degree angle in your elbow. Okay, so elbow, shoulder, and the other shoulder somewhat aligned. And left arm underneath the armpit, and then you actually move left leg up. Maybe you stay here, maybe you move the leg that you have lifted further back. It's going to be noticeable in your pecs. It's called the chest muscles. Now you can definitely just move your elbow just a little bit up or a little bit down. I know some people that like to stretch their arm. I don't feel it as much if I stretch my arm. I actually prefer 90-degree angle. The side of your head is on the floor, so it feels comfortable as it can be. And then coming back on your belly. Opposite side. So maybe if this is a first for you, take a little bit of time to find the right place. But just you can move your elbow a little bit up and down to find that. Don't go for a stretch that's like, ouch. Go for a stretch that you can feel. And that kind of a little bit uncomfortable, but not at all painful, okay? Don't go for a painful stretch, then you overdo it. But same thing on the other side. One more big breath. And come back on your belly. And you might move your shoulders a little bit. Before we find resting pose, we'll have a few things going on here seated. So you can sit on a block if that's more comfortable. On a pillow, blanket. So let's just sit right now. How does your shoulders feel right now? Before we move the head to the side and notice what happened from beginning till now, we're going to stretch the top here because that's often pretty sore. So you take your right hand up, take a hold of your ear, not pulling, just a little bit of weight. The other arm out to the side and sit tall with your spine. Before we move, you can choose. If you sometimes tend to have issues with your jaws or more with your throat, you can look a little bit up. So nose pointing slightly up and kind of looking like you're a little bit like proud. Or if it's more at the back of your neck, just look a little bit down, almost like you're smelling your armpit. Okay, so choose which one you like today and move where you want to go. Relax. Other side is one of my favorite stretches here. It's so good for the neck, I think. So first, directly to the side, so you get the top of the trapezius muscle here. Now you can take the arm behind you if that deepens your stretch, and make sure you're not sinking back, but sitting up straight. And as before, and it might be different on this side, so you don't have to do the same thing. But you can look up, Just go for as much as you need. It's not like, oh, is it too much? Is it too little? You tell, your body tell you, okay? So either up or nose pointing towards the armpit. And release. Move your neck a little bit. All right, before we rest, try to turn your head again to the side as we did in the beginning. Just notice what feels different now. And you can say no a few times, moving your head from left to the right side. I think I can go a little bit further back. I mean, it's not important that you can you can turn your head like an owl at all. That's not the point. But more that you feel like maybe a little bit of more release or blood flow or just more soft, easier movement maybe. Take your shoulders around. You can close your eyes. And again, just noticing. Maybe less bumpy, or maybe the same. No matter what you have been doing and what we'll do as we wrap up this class is so good for you. And remember, especially with shoulders, it can be, if you have shoulder pains, due to a lot of stress and things going on in our mind. And we lift our shoulders up and get really tense. So, just as important as strengthening and stretching is relaxing. Yeah, calming down the mind, breathing, letting all that tension, all that go out, and as you relax, let this parasympathetic nervous system calm your mind. That helps you restore the system in your body that heals you and makes you more at ease. So come down on your back, and actually if you have blocks, you might choose to put underneath your scapula there and open up your chest. That's always nice, so welcome to do that. If you just rested on the floor like me, try to take your shoulders a little bit down towards your feet. And that doesn't feel nice, but just do it for now. And then take your shoulder blades down towards the mat, so kind of puff up your chest a little bit. Doesn't feel as comfortable either. But now you relax. Just let your shoulders stay where they are right now. And close your eyes. Fill your lungs with air. Inside out. You deserve to rest. Nobody can only work and give and serve. There is also a time for peace and rest, and this is now. Relax your face, jaws, eyes. And maybe just be with whatever is right now. Hopefully just a nice bodily feeling. Or maybe picturing a wave moving forth and back on a beach in the rhythm of your breath. And we'll stay down here for 3 minutes in quietness. The 3 minutes are up. And you know in your body and your mind if you have to stay longer down, if you haven't had a time of rest due to a lot of things, take the time now. Spend 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe you fall asleep, maybe not. But just rest. Let your body rest, your shoulders rest. But if you're ready, you can slowly move your ankles, your wrists, hands, elbows. Maybe give yourself a big morning stretch with your arms above your head. In one way or another, coming into seated posture. I hope you feel great in your body. That was the intention. From my heart to your heart, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for sharing these videos with everybody if you like them. Peace on your path.